Okay, good morning here in New York. It's 10 a.m. on Thursday, the 20th of November. 20th of November. And we are here with You Change the World. Very ambitious kind of title for a podcast and for a live show. One of those millions and millions of shows and podcasts that you find in the internet today. It's unbelievable. It's an abundance of content, of points of view, of influence. Myself, I'm totally drawn, and I made a decision. I want to kind of cut off at least 50% of what I'm used to see and watch. It's a lot of time, and I don't know, philosophically, thinking of time, thinking of the precious time and valuable time. It has to be really content that will teach me something, that will take away, that will be useful for my clients, useful for myself. It's really a triage of what is going on that I really want to know. Who are the speakers that can inspire me? And speakers or broadcasters, but there is not so many out there, really, not so many. And I'm here, one of those millions, talking to you and saying that. Isn't that amazing? Well, we all feel we are unique, and we all like to share what we know, what we learn, especially because we don't know much about anything. And here, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook, on X, Twitter, and on the podcast or Spotify or Amazon or Apple Podcast, I'm here. I'm here every week on Thursday morning, and I'm thinking that some of you are, you know, in other places of the world, in Asia or in South America, in your own world with your own challenges. And it is really something that maybe can resonate if I talk about your time and time management and how much we dedicate to learn and how do we learn. And if this is really worth it to go on YouTube, like I do a lot, and then, because YouTube will decide for you now what to send or push to you through because of the algorithms and what you're using and what you're listening to. They know a lot about you out there at Google, Facebook, and all of those guys. They know a lot about you. And yes, it's true, your iPhone is listening to you. It's true that almost your computer does that. It's not necessary anymore to put microphone on your body or on in your walls. They know a lot about you when you move your motion. Maybe not your thought, but it's coming. And this is why not being paranoia about the external world from me that knows so much about me and what I think and what I say. But what I make public when I'm with you here once a week, 10, 15 minutes, with or without a guest, I'm really thinking about what can be, relevant, can be inspiring. Of course, otherwise I would not, be here. And I'm trying to look at the topics that can resonate the most. Those are the ones that my clients bring up, that I see they're, struggling with most of the time. And I don't have necessarily an answer, but definitely listen to those different various experiences. And I feel like I'm connected. I feel it is, in fact, the reality of the world. Those people I coach are really there. They are really with their experience and challenges, and I'm coaching them. And coaching people is to listen to them. That's the number one attribute of coaching. After that, I don't make any prescriptions or make any advice because that's not my profession. I'm not a mentor, I'm a coach. So people are talking, and by listening to them, you can really help them listen to themselves. That's the first goal. So I'm not here to talk about coaching. This is just one thing that I want to say, because when I share with you the experience I hear, it's really pure material. It's coming from them. It's authentic. It's totally true. It's what I hear. And their challenges are their challenges. So that's why I have a little bit of a pause today with you, saying to you the purpose of this show and sharing with you what I have in mind. And this is what it is: transparency, a little window opening to all these people that I have the privilege of coaching, that have different roles they play in organizations or on their own when they start their own company and live their own entrepreneurship. And what are the challenges in 2025 and in maybe the months of November? And what is in the mind of everybody about 2026? They don't think so much beyond 2026. And if they do, they are the strategic people of an organization. That's why they are. in fact, part of the executives and the higher level board members and everything, where they talk about strategy and about how to compete and how to position themselves in the market and how their product is going to be competitive and what to prioritize in developing it, if it's proactive or reactive, all those things are very important, very crucial. So when I talk to you, I feel that I'm really talking about reality. So let me get feedback. This is what I miss the most from you, is that I don't get so much feedback. I don't have comments on LinkedIn or on YouTube. You're not commenting. You refrain from this. I don't know. It's not your thing to give feedback, maybe, but I really need it. And it's not needed personally. It's to improve the content. It's to know who to invite next time for the guests that I have. I'm inviting, peer coaches, but I also invite people who are influencers and who play a role in this society and in this world that we want to change, or that they are changing, because that's the impact I'm focusing on. Is it efficient? Is it inspiring? Is it empowering, right? Is it giving people autonomy around them? Because we need autonomy. Even we are working for a company or for ourselves, this is one of the main theme, as you can hear me, about which I am very concerned. People do not understand how much they gain freedom and independence when they are focusing on autonomy and start to cut all the different chains that they created themselves, where they are scared about losing their job and scared about their boss, and there is really an overwhelming amount of feelings and obstacles that are totally unnecessary. So that's also where I find myself to have a role to play, a mission, a purpose as a coach, to help my clients realize that, becoming aware that they have much more options than they think they do, and be visible in the market and have backup plans, and not being caught in situations and crises like layoffs and reorgs, right? This is, of course, a very dominant theme, especially in the US. Yeah, it's a cultural thing. Yes, absolutely. There is more stability in some other cultures and it's not necessarily good. I think that, in fact, the recycling, or before it was disposable culture. Now we recycle much more than we dispose, right? That's good. Recycling is a good thing. How don't, why don't we think about recycling ourselves? So that's another muscle to practice and to work on. This means you have to update your resume. That means you have to be available in your mind to have an interview, to talk about people, with people, to network externally. Yeah, absolutely. It's not a sign of disloyalty or not have integrity for your job or your boss or your employer. It's to have integrity to your family and to yourself. You need to take care of yourself. You need to self-care a lot. You don't enough, and sometimes you get obsessed and taken, like uh, pulled into something, a spiral of pressure and dependencies that are totally artificial. They should not be there at all. You're going to change the world, and you are changing the world when you gain more autonomy. You are connecting to your capacities, to your potential. You are really making it work for the sake of making a living, but also for the sake of helping people out around you, developing them, having an influence on them. So those are the themes that really drive me a lot during the day with individual people and also with group of peoples. And, there is some methods that we see work very well. In executive presence, which is a very important theme in coaching, where people get awareness that they are seen, that they have an impact on people, and that they have a responsibility for being present in the space. That can be virtual, can be physical, right? You are physically present. You make a presentation, you speak in public, you communicate with one person, you handle a difficult conversation, you resolve a conflict between two people. I mean, all of those things have to do with communication and presence. That's a responsibility. So it's another side of leadership where you can get very free from so many different blockages and those traumas and different syndromes, like the imposter syndrome, which is totally created by you, and in coaching, that topic comes a lot. Someone has been promoted in a new leadership role. That person feels, why me? Immediately. And there's some kind of a humility there that you guys do all have. Definitely. You are really much more expecting from yourself than people expect from you. That's why when you do a 360, when you do an evaluation and you ask some raters around you that are people who work for you, your peers, your boss, to give a feedback about you and answer hundreds of questions that will give a beautiful report. And there is so many different versions of those 360s, but it gives you some kind of information, hopefully, some takeaways about you, because it comes from the people that relate to you and they interact with you and they have an experience of you. So that's very interesting. There is things to learn there. And if you are, in fact, learning from there because you see it's true, you see it really resonates with you, it talks to you, then we have opportunities to develop something. That's why we do it a lot in coaching, those 360s. But I bring that 360 for one reason, as I talk to you now today about purpose, about the mission of leading and this presence and this responsibility of having an impact by being just there physically and spiritually, because you come with your soul as well. If you believe that you have a soul, and the spiritual aspect is all the relationship you're going to have. It's how much safety and how much psychological safety you're creating around you. And this comes from intentional presence. Because once you know you are seen and that people are looking at you and get an inspiration from you or an impact from you, an exchange with you, if you're intentional about what they're going to experience about you when it's going to happen, right? You're intentional, that means you're prepared. And you're prepared, and you've prepared yourself maybe a few minutes ago, or maybe a week ago, or 2 weeks ago. Depends on the stake that is, holding, or it also depends on how things happen. Maybe it's a last minute meeting. You just have the time to breathe and exhale and inhale. And just with that exhale and inhale, which takes about 3 to 4 seconds or 6 seconds, it will be enough to reconnect to your core and know how you're going to be present. Yes, this is magic. This is crucial. I get passionate about this. I'm not the only coach that focus on this, but maybe I have a way, in a way that is pretty unique about it because I've been always thinking about it, researched about it, to come to some methods that I develop and I'm still developing at the present time with teams of people that are really good at this awareness and at this responsibility, that taking this responsibility of the moment as a leader. How do you do that? And how do you do that intentionally? So this is another topic I want to address that I addressed already here, but this is a topic you're going to hear about from me a lot. It is really one of the dominant themes that I have in my coaching, in my mediation. Mediation is to be in the middle of two people or groups of people that have a conflict and make them communicate better. That's my first mission. How can I make them communicate better? How can I make them listen to the other's point of view? If this happens between a couple for a divorce, mediation, and I had a lot of those, or it is just two partners for a business that want to separate or have a real big conflict. When the company starts making money and be successful, believe me, if there is co-founders, now we go and take the company to the next level. It is challenging, and it creates conflict that are have never been known in the relationship between those two people. So the coach or the mediator coming in the middle, and all this, of course, require certifications, training, a lot of things. But I think it comes first from the person. It's something, if you have thought for a whole career what you're good about or what you're strong about, or you have a call for, a call that comes, early or later in life. And I've been doing this now for the last maybe 18 to 19 years. And I am really getting more and more passionate about it. And I learn more and more because we are getting more and more challenges that are deeper challenges that call for things that are very seriously meaningful. We have to really find the energy and the resources to take a session very seriously, a coaching session or a mediation session, and a series of sessions because it's not happening in one only, and be there for those people that we coach. I think I said enough. It's like a pause today, just a reflection on everything. I started with the space of podcast and the social media and all the content that you are swallowing every day, or that at least you're exposed to every day. And do you keep your balance? Are you really unbiased? Do you really use those resources wisely? The more you expose yourself to them, and the more, vulnerable you get. So all I'm trying to say is that maybe we should minimize that and be more kind of selective about what we're watching, what we're learning, what we're reading. And the selection criteria is really what talks to you the most at this very time of your life, at this juncture of your career. I don't know. I think that I'm talking to you now and you are watching and you have been listening to me from the beginning of this particular series today. And then you're saying to yourself, wow, it talks to me. This is exactly what I'm thinking about those days. How do I filter all this content that I'm getting? It's too much time. It's consuming me. And do I get really the right kind of information? Am I influenced by what I watch and by what I listen to? That's all of that. And then the big question mark, which I'm taking as my conclusion for today. Am I free? Am I really getting my wisdom here and my freedom of choice and choosing what's good for me and what talks to me and what I take it as true? Because really, I know it is. And not getting things from people who are maneuvering, manipulating information. Yeah, there is a lot of fake news out there. It's true. Very, very true. And in the very subtle way because people practice what's called propaganda, or because there is organizations that have an agenda, or one person has an agenda, or someone is totally selfish and wants to just be the star of the day and is totally focused on himself or herself, and it creates really an aura of impurity, of lies, of things that are completely artificial, that do not have any relevance to humanity. And that's why, I think we should really be wise about it and have freedom of our choices. Thank you for listening today. Thank you for being here, and see you next week for